Hey, little rollerblader, are you okay?
Hey! Will you guys stop talking about rollerblading?
Why? Are you afraid you're missing out on something?
Yes?
Welcome to episode 4 of the Blade Rat Podcast, a chat with rollerblade legend Don Bambrick. Don explains his recent hand injury, the Detroit blade scene, family life, riding for Haunted, the Vibralux VOD, and overcoming alcohol. He joins the crew at Matt Oz's house in Hazel Park, a small suburb of Detroit. I sit down with Don on the front porch to catch up and discuss a few topics.
I'm 29 and just been hanging out in Detroit. Haven't been doing too much. I fractured a finger and dislocated another one, so I've just been hanging out for about a month now.
How many months of recovery is that going to take?
It's not going to take too much longer. It should be about another week, and hopefully I'll be rolling around. I think my pins come out in 2 days, so I'm ecstatic about that.
Nice. So up until then, you've been pretty much constantly steady blading here and there, between the DIY spot, the wig, modern here and there in the wintertime, and then comps. Looks like you've been killing it in the comp scene. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I definitely been skating.
Sure.
Because I'm a father and I'm 29 years old and I'm married, I sort of have a pretty full schedule. So we have Blade Night out here, and that's every Wednesday night, and that's been going on for quite, 5 years or so now, up at Modern.
Who sets up and organizes that?
That's just been basically Modern's night to blade for forever now, and it's kind of just turned into now, and even in the summer, we just skate every Wednesday night. So that's definitely my night. I get down every week, and then usually if I have time, I always try to make sure I try to skate like Saturday or Sunday, one of those days. Unless I can't, then that sucks.
So who are the sort of rippers that you're skating with out here? Who are the main people that you session with?
I basically always skate with Brian Weiss and or Luke Naylor. I've been skating with him a ton. Mm-hmm. And all the guys, just like I said, every Wednesday night, there's probably like 20 or 30 of us up at the wig. And, we just skate for like 2-3 hours.
What, in your opinion, is like the best part about like Detroit or Detroit blading?
At the moment, we still have quite a big scene, and blading's struggling everywhere. But in Detroit, we have a solid group of guys who skate, and it seems like we get newcomers all the time, and it's just a really, really thriving scene at the moment, and it kind of always has been. That's, like I said, it's gone on since the Airborne days and even before that. So
a lot of young rippers and a lot of good indoor skate parks.
Yeah. Well, that's the big thing. We've always had a good indoor skate park, and the skate parks have always changed, but we've always had a great indoor wooden warm skate park,
right,
which is key.
Do you think part of that is maybe a byproduct of, say, the generations that have passed that knowledge on, from culture to culture, from decade to decade, of Detroit blading? I mean, we've seen it in IMYTAs. We've seen guys before you. You're 29.
Yeah,
you're
for
the
sure.
same
Yeah.
as me. There's guys out there that have been ripping now they're now 35, 40. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that. Like, who taught Don Bambrick? Who did Don teach? And how does that spider web branch out?
There's something to what you're saying, for sure.
Something. I'm glad that there's something.
When I started skating, when I basically just started, there was obviously Brian Murphy was a huge influence growing up, but we had tons of people. We had Mark Thomas, Danny Gill, Nate Vince, countless people to watch and learn from, and then through the years that definitely influenced enough people, and then I think my generation has started influencing a couple of these younger kids, and definitely spiderwebbed around like that.
Sure. Who are some of the next generation of Detroit rippers?
Well, there's no question we got Zach Savage and Luke Naylor.
China.
We got so many people. I know China is definitely like the best girl skater in rollerblading, so
sure.
That's pretty crazy. Like I said, we got Zach, we got Luke Rappa. there's a lot of people. I don't know.
You busted up your hand. You got a couple months of recovery, sounds like. Injuries, how does that kind of set you back, or have you had a whole lot of injuries?
Yeah, so when I broke my fingers, it didn't only complicate not being able to skate. I can't do simple things, and I take care of my daughter Monday through Friday, so just not being able to open a plastic bag or do simple stuff pick my daughter up to walk her, to put her in the car, or do this or that, that's been challenging all on its own. So it's kind of funny getting hurt as an adult for sure. So by the time I'm done with these five weeks here, I'm definitely like really itching to skate. Don't even have to do any grinds, just ready to start rolling around and going fast again.
Sure.
Crickets chirped and the neighborhood traffic buzzed by as we share a little bit about Don's story.
So let's talk a little bit about the image of Don Bambrick. People might have known you from the back of the days of Razors versus what they might think of you today. And now, since you might not have certain sponsorship or certain exposure on media, people might be like, who is the Don Bambrick of today? So tell me a little bit about what you've been up to.
Basically, everything's just flipped 180. No question about that. So people that might have known me back in the day when I was a little younger and a lot more reckless probably don't even have like any idea what I'm up to nowadays. But yeah, I don't know. I just used to not like to skate in competitions. That was like one of my big things. I just never would want to skate in a contest. Now it's like one of my more enjoyable things to do. There's like a zone you can get into in a contest that you can't get into any other time just skating. So it's just, and you're skating with a bunch of people, so it's just fun. Everybody's excited to be around skating, and that's like the day.
By the way, that alley-oop fish brain in DCO is fucking sick. That down rail, that was fucking ill. You just swag the fuck out of that. So
yeah, they put in work to make those rails work. I think
they were like supported by trees, right?
Yeah, they dug out the whole hillside, and the staircase was all covered in, I think, trees and bushes, and
they looked kind of rusty and steep. How are those?
For Detroit, they were a down rail. We don't have tons of rails. We never have, so it like any rail is good, but they were good actually. I don't know. There was no landing, so Al had to build a wood landing for it. That was kind of funny, but yeah, they were good.
The DCO boys, the Motortown Classic boys, man, they put on a hell of a show. Delta City Open, one of the best street comps, undisputedly in the U.S. Also the vibe of Detroit, like just because you get to skate in the desolate streets and see some fucking sick street skating down and some rugged shit, and people might be drinking beers and smoking blunts and having a good time, and DCO is just something else, and then there's always the after party. It's just, you can't even experience it through the edits. You have to come to DCO, right?
Yeah, they're amazing. Sean, James, and Noah, they put on contests every year. They do Motortown Classic, Delta City Open, and then they always have like 420 Bull Comp or I forget what the mini one's called.
Yeah. They kind of took the horns of Bitter Cold Showdown,
right,
and kind of turned the comp into now Motortown Classic, right?
Yep.
Or rather, the guys are sort of organizing all these different events in Detroit.
They just wanted to keep it going because Daniel Kinney, I guess, couldn't or didn't want to continue Bitter Cold, which is understandable because it was starting to turn into the same old contest over and over. But they changed the name and changed the park up a little bit and got people interested in the new contest and kept it going. And yeah, there definitely isn't anything like it or exactly the same. So
I'm glad that there's still people creating events and keeping things moving. That's incredible that Dan Kinney went and passed that down to the boys in Detroit to go and take that off. We also have Preston that organizes the Northwest Shred Tour. I believe he's partnering with Cody Clark and one of the Bay Area cats. Can't think of his name right now, but yeah, they're going to be kind of organizing that event. So I think it's great when comps or events don't just die out, that they actually pass those on to the next generation, the next people that can keep that alive. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not the case with Powwow, but we still have Motortown Classic, we still have Northwest Shred Tour. There's the Lux Invitational, the was it the Boshi Pope?
Boshi Pope Skate Off?
Yeah. So there's all sorts of those skater-owned events are really sick.
Maybe this is possibly why I enjoy contests now so much more, is because I think there's something to what you're saying, and I feel like I understand the importance of contests now, that the need for them. I think I took them for granted more back in the day. And every year we lose, it seems like another, either contest, company, something. So those are really good to get the whole community together, get everybody psyched on skating, and they're pretty important. So It definitely is sick when people take time to make sure that a skate contest happens, and yeah, it's rad.
What about street skating, and what about competition? What gets you juice nowadays?
Well, like, to go to the contest thing or the competition thing, it doesn't matter if it's street or park, but like, kids get excited to go to skate events, and they see skating in person, or they see their favorite skater or whatever do tricks in front of them in person, and it's just completely different, and that leaves an impact on them. And it's
a moment that you can't share in any other way.
Right. Video doesn't translate over like that. They can see anybody skate in a video and appreciate everything, but you just don't get the same type of feel until you see somebody skate in person, or I don't know,
or blade with them in person, or give them
right,
props,
right,
or say what up, or drink a beer with them, or say, hey, what up, how you been? Like,
true.
It's completely different in person. So one thing that was really interesting was, like, I had a couple of the boys back from Detroit, a couple of guys moved out to Portland, Steve DeRaza and Cody Boulay, and we have a really good scene out in Portland. And, of course, skating is universal. I mean, everybody's tuning into the channel of blading, right? It's the whole time that comps like the Chicago comp is going down and DCO is going down. You know what we were doing? Well, we were blading and having blade sessions, but we were at, like, cafes, like, looking over each other's shoulders, clicking the live feed, because SP's the fucking man, and he's just, like, doing live feeds of the whole event. And quite honestly, like, that's really cool, man. The way that blading also influences media and the way that we utilize media. We've done a little bit of GIFs and certain other things, but now people are using stories to share instantaneous clips of live footage. So, like, for me, that made me feel like I was back at the event. I felt the whole time we were rewinding clips and we were revisiting and reliving that. So I think we're in, like, a beautiful era of where skating is starting to mature a lot. Competitions and the people that really have their heart in the game are in the game. The finances are not there, but the heart is there. Yes. Like the passion in blading. Like, blading has, to some degree, never been better than it ever has, except for financially we are struggling. We're dying out in numbers, but, like, our culture is so rich.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think about, you've been pro and you've been through it, so what's your take on the modern take of blading?
Well,
where are we at today?
No offense.
No,
but I just kind of always hate when people, I don't know, the whole it's skating's like in a really, or people saying they like where skating is right now, or because it's so underground, or everybody's in it for the right reasons, is, I guess it makes sense, but I just wish there were so many more people doing it. I remember when I started and how big it used to be, and, like, just, I miss that, but there's definitely truth to that, and it's crazy. There really is, there's no incentive, really, to skate unless you thoroughly enjoy what you're doing.
Let's talk a little bit about your life beyond just blading. You're a house owner, you're a family man.
Yep. Yes, I am. I'm a dad. I got a 3-year-old daughter. Married my high school sweetheart, basically. I take care of my daughter Monday through Friday. Like I said a second ago, I share a car with my wife, so I drive her in the morning, and we go have lunch at the park for lunch, and then I pick her up at the end of the day. So life moves pretty slow most of the time, and then when I get my free time, I go skate, and that's, like, gives me a balance that I crave. And
don't you have, like, deer walking around in your backyard? You don't live in, like, Detroit, right? You live...
No. I'm just outside of Detroit. I'm like 20, 25 minutes out. I live in the suburbs, and I got deer, and I got a driving lawnmower. I got a John Deere, and it's great. have a beautiful home and a beautiful family, and I have a great balance in life right at the moment.
But you kind of changed your diet a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You're a vegetarian, right? Is that right?
Right.
How has that helped with, I guess, have you found an influence on your levels of energy? How does that influence your skating, do you think?
Well, there's no question it helps tremendously. I just feel great. I mean, I'm like eating the right things. I basically dialed in for a while, like what I would eat every time before I would skate. I would always have the same shit just so I knew what I needed to get through the session. So, yeah, I eat pretty healthy.
As we progress in our conversation, it's inevitable that we have to breach some tough topics.
Yeah, I got a lot healthier, but that all kind of happened because I stopped drinking. So I always kind of don't know how to feel about talking about it. I haven't drank for 2 years now. Actually, just had my 2-year anniversary with not drinking. But it's weird because most of my friends drink, and I don't have any, like, I don't care if other people drink. I just couldn't do it anymore because it was a problem for me.
It was like a negative thing in your life.
Yes.
Right.
I was a real alcoholic, and once I would drink, it would just like take over. That was one track mind. It would be all I would want. I wouldn't even really eat, and it just sucked. Kind of skating has got this extracurricular activity like that goes along with it, and it can go from fun to like a problem easier than some people understanding, myself for sure. And so I had to stop drinking. It took me 10 years to realize it, but it was something I had to do, and the past 2 years have been very, very, very much better for me. Skating is way better. My life is better in every single way, pretty much. But
that's great.
It's awesome. Weird to talk about too, because I feel like in some way I'm like being pretentious or judgy or like, I don't know.
Oh, not even. If anything, I mean, you're sharing your knowledge or your insight on something that's happened to you, and as you're getting to a better, positive space. And I think everybody should kind of, man, if you got inner demons in some sort of way, if you can bring that up to a positive light, do that through food, through your bad habits or whatever. Try to fix yourself in certain ways. I mean, people shouldn't lose their personality, but they should also go and try to improve on themselves and become a better person. So I think you're doing just that.
I think it's totally person to person. Mm-hmm. Like if you can have that extra fun and it doesn't affect you and you don't obsess over it, then I think that's awesome, and I'm actually jealous of that. But if it interferes with your life in negative ways, it definitely sucks. And yeah, I mean, for me, it like totally affected my skating. It pretty much, I don't know. I'm just a much better skater now that I'm not drinking, let's put it this way.
Right.
I'm really glad that Don is willing to share these stories with the rollerblade world. I hope that this conversation can inspire other rollerbladers to seek positivity, health, and overcome their own personal challenges.
Sounds like you've been working a little bit with Haunted Wheel Co.
Yes, I have.
What's going on there?
Definitely been in the works of putting together some sort of a welcome to the team.
So Matt Oz welcomed you to the squad, sounds like.
Yes. I've known Matt for, I don't know, like 15 years.
Tell me a little bit about your sponsorships or where you're at right now.
Well, I skate for Haunted Wheel Co. Valo is... I don't really skate for Valo. I definitely don't skate for the team. But they hook me up, and they have like the best skates on the market, in my opinion. So no complaints there by any means.
And what are you riding? Exactly.
At the moment, I'm not skating shit. No, I'm going to be skating the new Vibralux.
Oh, the Vibralux Valo fucking co-brand thing.
Yeah, they're doing the second Vibralux Valo skinned skate, and
those look incredible.
Yeah, they're sick.
Who designed that? Was it a collaboration between the two?
No, I don't even know who did that. Maybe I don't even know.
That might be one of the best skates on the market looking. I mean, yeah, dude, just incredible. Love the, like, accents, the tan or natural colors on the sides.
You got the brown stripe, and then you got the black denim.
Yeah, it's just a fucking dope skin.
Yeah.
They nailed it on the skin
If
design.
you like a skin skate, it's pretty much perfect. It's all black, and it's got that little extra coloring, and
I'm sure they'll sell out in a heartbeat.
yeah, we're hoping so, for sure.
Do you have any other projects in the mix?
Or
anything that you can talk about that are project related?
Well, I'm working on our haunted wheel edit, and Ryan C., who I've also known since I was a wee little kid.
He used to work at...
I don't know if you guys have even talked about that.
He used to co-own Octona Skate Shop without a leg, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's been filming me literally since I was like 12 years old.
One of the best DV filmers.
Yes.
I mean, if you're looking for good GL footage and good VX footage, Ryan C. is the man.
And he's been shooting with the same camera for the whole 15 years.
Doesn't he have the same like YouTube handle too? It's like
yeah, he's had that forever as well.
Yeah. So,
we're working on that. We're basically... all the footage thus far has been local in Detroit, but we've been having some solid days, going out and getting like 5 trick days, so that's been sweet.
Is it challenging, like you've probably been blading the same parts for a while, is it challenging coming up with like new trick ideas or new spin-off of things?
I don't know, I've gone through so many different little spurts with skating as far as like what I want to do. As of lately, I've just been trying to have a more simple-minded take towards skating and just grind rails and jump gaps and try not to really think about it too much. But
right. So I recently moved to Portland 2.5 years ago, so I've been a little bit away from the Midwest scene. So tell me a little bit about what's been going on in the Midwest. We have, Detroit, we have Chicago, we have Ohio. What kind of comps, what kind of events, what's been going down here?
Yeah, we have the Eastern Conference over here. We got our Detroit contest, Motortown Classic, Delta City Open, then we got Windy City Riot. I just made it out to my first one of those. Somehow that was my first time going to that, but that was amazing. And then you also got your King of Cleveland contest. We did Too Cold to Blade this winter. I don't know, you definitely got enough things to keep there's enough events to go to and be around.
Delta City looked incredible this year, and so did Windy City Riot. Windy City Riot in particular, their spot choices, I was fucking drooling over that. Like, spot 1 looked incredible with all those different, looked like King Corral combo with some kind of storage bins and banks and all sorts of stuff. Lots of different obstacles. What was Windy City Riot like this year?
Well, you hit it right on the head. That first spot was basically like a video game spot, and when I went out there, I didn't research what the spots were. I didn't know anything, and yeah, that was just like one of those gold mine spots that you just like, if it was in any city and you knew of it, you'd have to go there to skate it, and it was amazing. I think what somebody told me was like some bikers built that. I don't know how bikers built that because it looks like a rollerblading complex, but apparently some bikers built that, and it's like in the middle of this park with other like bike trails and all this other stuff.
First spot, Luke was ripping, you were ripping, Brian Weiss, and Paul John.
Yes.
You guys were holding down the comp, and it was pretty fun to watch.
When does Luke not rip?
Yeah. I love how somebody released like Luke leftovers from that edit, and it was like more than anybody could ever do.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. It's Luke Naylor right there.
He's a machine.
Yeah. Luke Naylor and his buddies are working on Catfish right now. Do you have any involvement on that, or do you know anything that's going on with that project?
Catfish, that's Kevin LeBeau and Luke, and they're filming and making a video. I've definitely been getting tricks with Luke when I'd go skate and when it would come about, so I don't know how many I got, but I got some stuff for that, and it's fun skating with Luke. Luke is really, really good and always motivated and always down to skate.
Catfish. One thing that I'm really juiced about that video in particular, I think everybody should pick it up when it comes out. In particular, the editing will be super fire. We got Kevin LeBeau editing it. his editing style is, I can't really describe it, but I always see him like draw influences from like Radiohead music videos or Radiohead songs, and he just has this really kind of choppy, unique style of editing that I'm really juiced about.
Kills it on the blades too.
So we got like Luke maturing in his skating and Kevin LeBeau maturing in his editing, and I think that video is going to be fire. Like, I'm super excited about that. I love any video that's coming out, and we got lots of great blade flicks coming out this year. We got Bars, Feet 4, Catfish, Chance of Rain 2. Me and Ivan's blade flick will be soon to release, and we'll be talking a little bit about that. Title still working, work in progress, but there's some blade flicks this year that I'm really excited about.
Valo 6.
Valo 6? Jesus, how did I even forget? Oh my gosh. Vasuki is going to front side the fucking world, I hear, from one side to the other. Do you have sort of a roadmap or game plan for things, or are you just trying to like rehab your hand and get back together?
I'm gonna be, that's the first thing I gotta do. I gotta get my fingers moving again, but I don't think that should be too bad. And then I got this haunted project I'm working on, and then I also have a Vibralux. Well, I'm gonna be working on the promo for the Vibralux skate, and I'm definitely excited about that one as well. Adam Johnson will be filming that. The details I'm not really even fully sure on yet on it, but we're going to be filming a promotional, like a promo vid for it, so
sick.
It should be cool, and yeah, I'm just really itching to skate again, so I'm looking forward to both of these projects.
Are you going out to him, or are you going to Detroit?
I think he's going to be coming to Detroit, and we were also talking about possibly me going on a short trip somewhere else, because that's the other thing. Nowadays, it's a lot harder for me to travel because I don't have as much time. So I have to get, projects are much more just tightly structured and much more thought out. And I think for my Vibralux VOD, I filmed all of it in 12 days or something.
Jeez.
Which was like pretty crazy for me.
I really love the spot selection of that, and it was kind of a unique profile. You know, did you pick out those spots in advance, or was it something that AJ came to town and you just knew these were the spots, or you knew that these spots were gonna complement your style of skating? Like, how did that process go down of choosing 12 days of spots?
Well, I started the VOD by going to Minneapolis and staying with Farmer for I think like 7 days or 8 days or something, and then while I was out there, that was just fun to be skating new spots and be on like a skate trip again, so that was just like kind of worked itself out, and I didn't hurt myself at all, so that trip went smoothly. And then AJ came out here to Detroit for about, I don't know, another 2 weeks or so, but all together it ended up taking us like 12 days, 13 days. As far as like skate spots go, Michigan, I don't know, I've been skating in Detroit for so long, I definitely did actually put in some time and make sure I had quite a spot list, so when he came here I wasn't wasting his time either. And I mean, I guess I have a stranger eye sometimes when it comes to skating. I don't know, all those were just my off the cuff, I bet you could do something on that kind of thing.
Were you happy with the results of that VOD, how it turned out? Or what's your like favorite section of yours, or your favorite interpretation of your own blading?
I was definitely happy with how the VOD turned out. Everything went smoothly. I felt that was the first profile I had put out in quite a while. I don't even know how many years, but so I was just like really excited to make a part, and I think everything came together so well for that, and I was happy with my skating. And then AJ also just like killed it with the filming and the editing and all of his forethought into the project. Like, he knew what he wanted to shoot before he even got to Detroit. He already had scenes in his head that he wanted to shoot with the drone or with like certain shots, so I was very happy with that project.
The drone shot, especially with the title, was really cool. And the intro that like showed you inside that abandoned building, that was incredible. Like, he really slayed it on the drone stuff, really pushed it to another level.
Yeah, I thought that was cool because not too many people had used the drone, and I know a lot of people didn't know how to feel about drones and skating.
Very tasteful.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, it was tastefully done, and like you could easily overdo it. And I don't know. I thought it was cool.
One of my favorite tricks from that section, I can't remember what trick you did on a rail, but you did like sort of might have been, I think it was a soul grind, and then maybe like a 270 backside cess slide on this like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That like, what was that thing that like?
It was like a
gas tank or some shit?
Propane tank or something.
Yeah, man. Was that like that was my favorite trick because I've never seen any shit. Like it was like a 270 to wall ride cess slide thing out of a rail that was incredible. What's your favorite trick or favorite tricks of that?
Well, I don't know about favorite tricks, but I always know what's hardest for me. So actually, this is kind of funny. Whenever I think something's like really difficult, or I think like something's more favorable in my mind, anytime I talk to other people that skate, or they talk to me about like previous sections, they'll always like talk about like the randomest trick that either I wasn't even sure if I liked, or I just never, I don't know. It's funny how taste is just like in the eye of the beholder. Like, I don't know.
Sure, sometimes that squirreliness or that rawness is like people gravitate towards them. That was the sickest thing.
Yeah, everybody just has a different opinion on what's cool. So like, whatever, it's not necessarily ever what's the hardest thing for me to actually like do. It's just based on whatever the person thinks.
Sure. Another trick that stood out was that front torque stair bash that you did. I think it was like a 0 spin over a stair set and then like a 0 spin like front torque stair bash or something.
Yeah.
That shit is pretty crazy.
The farm bash.
How do you do that? Was that scary? Was that the first time you did that? I don't think I've ever seen that video.
I don't know if that was the first time, but I've played with those. But yeah, I think I've seen like Farmer do those. I think I've seen Sagona do it once or twice, but I'm pretty sure Farmer was the originator. And you just go fast and drag your feet down the stairs. Yeah, that's just speed. Those are fun.
Yeah. Any future projects, any shout-outs, anything else that you'd like to let the community know what's going on?
A shout-out Valo, Vibralux, Haunted. Those are the people I skate for.
Shout-out to any homies?
All the homies.
All the homies.
Anyone who's still strapping up, man, shout out. Anybody who was interested enough to listen to this, shout out.
For sure, cool.
Throughout the conversation, the Michigan night got colder, and you might have noticed it in our voices. Regardless, we end this podcast with Brian Weiss chiming in the conversation.
Weiss, you want to throw an intro, outro? Get in here, bub.
Hello, world.
You know, like you kind of are talking to the world, I guess. You could be. Depends how big this thing goes, and that counts on all of us.
Probably going to be like 5 people watching.
I know, but hey, shoot for the stars. I just want to pretend like I'm talking to the world, because it could be. Because anyone can download this, I hope. You have to guess, like, is it Brian or Don now? You can't see our skating anymore, so you can't fucking tell, bitches. I'm sick, so you can kind of fucking tell.
Yeah.
Fuck, God damn it. That mic looks really good, so I'm pretty sure it can sense my sniffles right now.
You're
Fuck.
you're
If I
sick
didn't
and
have
I'm
any
shivering.
sniffs, sick and shifting.
I'm just over here shivering through the whole podcast. Like, and,
I know, you've been out here for a while. You got some good stuff. I want to know what's on
he
the other
gave
end.
me his jacket.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I'm a lot warmer, thanks to Brad.
I was going to say, if you could put that, whatever this is on the mic here, if you could put that on your head, that'd be good. Somehow get that around your ears, I think you'd be alright.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Some custom Vibralux earmuffs.
Some VX muffs, dude. For winter, just for Detroit. They're only sold right in Detroit at Modern.
Thank you all for listening, and thank you for being a part of the Blade family. This podcast has been edited to condense time and enhance your listening experience. Please support us by visiting our Patreon page at patreon.com/BladeRat Podcast. Sign up to become a Patreon supporter and receive Blade Rat apparel and other rewards. Follow my work at BradOzPhoto on Instagram or BradOzentowski.com. And follow Haunted Wheelco on Instagram and HauntedWheels.com. Please continue to support local, support blading, and keep the passion alive.